Good morning, everyone. Holy shit. Yeah, I'm a bit rough right now. I am definitely sick with something. Oh my goodness. All right, hang on. I gotta check something. That was squeaky as fuck. Okay, that's better. That's better. All right. Right. Yeah, good morning, JoJo. I definitely, like I said, I caught something for sure. I'm pretty feeling pretty rough. Oh my goodness. Morning, Dimitri. I'm doing all right. Like I said, I caught something, but I don't know. Like, probably just the man flu. Yeah, just a bit of chest pain and a bit of coughing, and as you can tell, lots of mucus clogging up the airways. Ugh. Oh yeah, it's bound to happen with any gathering, but it was good. Had potato salad burgers. Again, for anyone that doesn't know, that's not it's not anything super fancy or anything. It's not like making potato salad into a burger patty or anything. No, no, no. It's just you just have a normal burger, and instead of putting ketchup and mustard on it, I just put potato salad on top of it instead. That's my condiment, right? It's nothing special. It's nothing crazy, but I just like doing it that way. And then like I'll add like an extra onion ring to it and maybe some pickles, but that's it. Because there's already onions and pickles in potato salad. Yeah. So again, it's nothing special, nothing fancy. I just like eating it that way. Nice. Yeah. The other thing I did yesterday was use the chainsaw to cut up some trees. So that was fun. And it was just pruning, right? But there were some old dead limbs, stuff like that that had to go. And we're trying to get this. I think it's a cherry tree. Trying to get this cherry tree to go up instead of out. So we chop some limbs to help it keep growing upwards instead of outwards. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the tree is. I don't know what it is. Um, it's got dark red leaves, but it always has dark red leaves. Like it's not like a normal tree has green. No, no, these are always dark red. I don't know if I maybe I can look it up. Hold on a second. Tree with dark red leaves. Oh, yep, that looks like the tree. Yeah, what is this tree called? Oh, it's literally a cherry plum tree. Yeah, it's literally a cherry plum tree. Nice. Oh, no wonder the birds like it so bloody fucking much. That is if it fruits. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Oh, hello. Dragons must be angry. The forests are on fire in California again. Are they still sending all their water up to Canada? That was a wild thing to fucking recover. Um, that was a wild thing to discover. Oh, all right. Hang on. Let me add your 5 to the bounty stuff. Like I said, for you guys coming in a little late, I definitely caught something. So it is a bit rough. I'm gonna try and read. I don't know. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, I know, right? Uh, okay. Yeah, we read up to there, so let's do from here. Jonathan hung up the phone and grumbled a bit before he came over and sat beside Jeremiah. The casualness of the action caught the latter off guard. Right. So. Oh, God, hold on. Right, so. Give this yalder scald your tale. What drove you to such hasty actions? You are with. No, you are Everglade. Why did you need this hotel so desperately? Well, let me clear up a misconception. Everglade is rich, affluent to be sure, but isn't the same as many other corporations. On paper, we should have more money than a dragon's hoard in every pocket, but we do not. I could live a comfortable life on what I do get. Most of that money actually flows back into Everglade through one of its subsidiaries, or is donated out. It isn't what you hear all the time in articles, papers, journals, websites. Yeah, well, so many people think that because I have a lot of companies under the umbrella, because it's privately owned conglomerate, I must therefore be swimming in cash. But I have a lot of people to take care of. That weight has been pressing down on me for a long time, and my tribe, I need to be better for all of them. Jonathan closed his eyes as he listened to those words and felt a deep connection between himself and this man. Enemies not even 10 minutes ago, now sitting in solidarity. I understand. Trust me, I do. I'm 202 years old now. Jeremiah turned and looked him up and down. I know. I don't know how long I have left, and I'm afraid. Have I left the tribe stronger or not? Will it survive without me? Will they carry on the work or fall to temptations? Working so hard to create a cushion for when the inevitable conflict comes. Have I given them poisoned meats to partake in? Oh my goodness, chat. It is said Sidorus lived to be 453. Surely you still have half your life ahead of you. Compare myself to thee, Prime Wolverine? I wouldn't be so bold. I mean, if I'm lucky, that will hold true. But don't let my sorrows interrupt. What of your tribe and troubles? Feel free to give them to an old wolf. Well, long ago, before I ever started Everglade proper, I was a fourth Talon when this mage visited our convergence. He had come under the mistaken belief that he could just scare us off and take control of it, further fuel his spell work. Being so close to the Horror, he didn't judge his spell well enough, and calamity struck. The convergence point destabilized. Highlander was injured severely and was cut off from his spiritual self on the other side. I'd never seen a convergence collapse before, and it was a truly terrible sight to behold. The mageling fled. The backlash of energies destroyed the Horror, killed our chieftain and the council in one fell swoop. The terrible things that came out of it did their bloody work in turn. In panic, I led a group of us into the maelstrom and rescued Highlander, but he was already in severe pain and shock. What came out of the collapse? The predators and things in the shadows waiting on the other side. They were sucked in and spat out for us to fight. So many wolf bloods died. Some Wolverine dragged down and killed. It was a nightmare made flesh. When the convergence finally sealed itself, we had lost most of the tribe. I was the last one of the highest rank left. I was 27 at the time, and I swore I would save Highlander no matter what. Now I'm 129. The search still ongoing, and here we were so close. Have you ever found that mage? Oh yes. I tracked him down especially. I afflicted him with our little gift and then marked him, and have made him keenly aware of his fate ever since. He was a brash and foolish youth at the time, unaware of what he was doing. Over time, he has paid his penance. He has gained wisdom, though I believe he's just suffering some mental disorder that keeps him loyal beyond the contract now. I see. And so, you saw your quest coming to an end and decided you could try and snatch it? More or less. Finally saw the cure for Highlander's ails and wanted so badly to take that with both hands and give it to him as soon as I could. I made deals with the NDA to assist in such a matter. But how did you know about the convergence? I only learned of it after we had already purchased the hotel. Old contract work found in company archives. Sunstone, the construction company I own, had records dating back to the hotel's construction and of the special contract work to be done on keeping it repaired. This includes the bunker, of course, but more than that, the reports that came out, inspections done, I started to put the pieces together. Strange sensations, cracks forming, the odd smells, the subtle signs of a convergence that was now making its way to the surface. The only thing we didn't have were the methods to open the doors to get down into that facility. Hence you teamed up with the NDA. I'm not sure why they would attack the Rangers, or rather, hire a Smiler of all things to attack the National Rangers. They contracted with a fucking Smiler? Spirits give me strength. Not sure either. After that fuck up, I had some of the tribe and assets of Everglades start investigating the place. Trying to cover who held the property rights, that sort of thing. Name really does draw the wrong impression to you. It was intentional, so we could bait them in and kill them. But now we're in an awkward... Jonathan's phone suddenly started ringing, and he opened it and looked at it. Let me try that again. I can feel the mucus building up. Hold on. Alright, let's try that again. Jonathan's phone suddenly started ringing, and he opened it and looked at it carefully before tilting his head. Ah, shit. I need to take this. Jonathan stood and answered the phone as he walked away, heading back for the office for some privacy. Though he's still a ways off, he decided he couldn't just let it ring. His nerves were on edge as he looked at his phone's caller ID and braced himself before answering. Hey, William, what did you need? Hey, I had a question. Go ahead, what's your question? I can hear a voice in my head. Or rather, I sense me in my head, but the other me. What, like an internal dialogue? Working things through, or... No. More like, well, questioning why I don't just let go here. Out away from everyone. Wouldn't that be safer? Shouldn't I just deal with the commander and his lackey now to protect Samantha? That sort of thing. He wasn't familiar with this sort of thing. But he also wasn't familiar with someone resisting their awakening for so long either. He could just dismiss it as the agent going mad. But what if it was an unexpected side effect now that things were chipping away? Right. Where are you right now? I'll contact Michael and we can come check on you. I'm at my place. New place. I'll send you both the address. I'll just stay here for now, but I haven't seen Samantha for a bit, so if you see her on your way, let her know I really want to see her. Sure, I'll do that. Let me contact Michael. You just relax as best you can, okay? Yeah, thanks. William hung up the phone and Jonathan held his close for a time before he ran back towards Victor with all due haste. Victor, we got a nuke problem. If you need to, go ahead with the plan at the hotel without me. You mean the one problem, Chief? Problem? What problem? Jeremiah asked as he stood up and looked between the two. If it's more of my guys, I can assure you I didn't, or... No, this is way beyond you. I don't mean that as an insult, but this involved the Divine Dragon Emperor himself. Which, speaking of, tell Jarex and all the spirits we have contract with to send out a warning to Meraxis. Something is going wrong. Jeremiah's eyes widened and he couldn't help but blurt out something. You're in contact with Meraxis himself? Not the time, trust me. I wish I could explain, but I need to go, like, right now. And I need to get in touch with the Rangers. Understood, Chief. You want us to stick around here, or... No need. We can have a proper sit down and talk on better terms soon. And with that, Jonathan spun on his heel and started running towards the chain link fence. All the while, he brought up his phone and quickly searched through his contacts and speed dialed it. Come on, pick up, please, please. Jonathan, good. No time to explain. You should get a text soon with William's address. Something is going wrong. Oh my goodness. I know what's going wrong. All this fucking mucus and me feeling all clogged up and nasty and gross and... Bleh. That's what's going wrong, chat. Well, that was weird. I went to go take a drink. I got it close to my mouth, and I had a hiccup. So I inhaled and I sucked some of the drink into my tongue. What the fuck? Thankfully, it didn't go down my throat at the same time. That would have fucking sucked. Oh my goodness sakes. Coolant leak on work truck. Gotta wait for maintenance. Fuck my life. Oh shit. Well, at least you can be like, hey, it's not me. It's not me. The equipment failed. The equipment failed, sir. It's not. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't trying to skip out on work. No, no. It ain't me. It ain't me. Oh God, I'm dying. Ugh. Ah! Oh my God, what the fuck? Oh, oh, that was weird. I just moved my head slightly and it just crack. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, oh. It wasn't like a loud crack or anything. It was like, have you ever like cracked your knuckles or something like that? It was like that, only it was right here. Oh man, fucking weird. Fucking weird. All right. I definitely got the man flu for sure. Fucking humans inventing the flu, inventing the dragon cold. Y'all suck. Y'all suck. All right. The weasel of a man stared at the computer screen, one of the only terminals in the entire building allowed to be connected to outside networks for communication purposes. It was here he got the message back. Clerical errors sent out incorrectly to a neighboring sector. Moments like this were when he was most grateful for the fragmented and chaotic way the NDA was organized, as it gave him exactly what he needed. In a rush, he printed out the files and snatched them from the tray before deleting the data and running to meet with the commander. He suffered no distraction as he charged through the building right to the commander's office and knocked on the door. It was only a brief moment before he heard the words he most wanted right now. Enter. Quickly, he burst through the door and came straight up to the commander's desk before placing the paperwork down. Sir, she sent out a message to some other sectors across state lines. Who? Wait, our little bait? Yes, sir. We already have those men tailing her, correct? Agent Cooper nodded his head before smiling. Good. Tell them I want her snatched now. She's to be labeled a traitor to the NDA. Right away, sir. And I made sure to delete all the files off our network. Only these papers exist for it now. And well done, Cooper. Very well done indeed. Lorcan smiled and then leaned back in his chair as he started to think through things. He's going to snap that little mouse in front of Will, and now he had ever more reason to make sure it happened. He's going to mentor the little pup and prove those hypocrites wrong. Actually, that's pretty fucking good, not gonna lie. Dragon says he has the flu, and the jester says, you better land then, LOL. Yeah. That's actually pretty good. Oh, my throat doesn't hurt or anything. It's just hard and awkward to talk, right? It's just awkward because all the mucus. All the mucus. Oh my goodness. All right. Then this is where I'm at right now. And what we're gonna do is this is kind of like getting us up towards the storm. There's gonna be a little lull in it, right? No, this is from the Guardians of Nature book, which is all about the Wolverine, which are werewolves in my setting, and it sets the foundation for a bunch of other books. Like Arctic Wolf is gonna be more like the romance novel, and that's set with the disciplined Wolverine who's basically self isolated to try to resist everything. And there's a couple embracer werewolves that are out there. They're like, dude, that's not a good idea. You should at least find a pack or something. If you're gonna isolate yourself, find the local pack and join them instead, or petition to join them at least. You can join that tribe. You cutting yourself off entirely, that's pretty fucking extreme. But they kind of have like a weird friendship. These three wolves, where they're kind of like they've always been a little more introverted and everything, and so they're up in it like the Arctic area. Right where you have like your homestead, and then you'll have like maybe a good 30-minute drive before you see the next neighbor, and an hour drive to get to town. And so that one's gonna be more of a romance novel one. And again, like I said, not all the novels are gonna be for everyone, right? There's gonna be all different kinds all throughout. Grey Wolf, that series will be obviously following William Lowell and the creation of the literal titular Grey Wolf, which is the private military contractor slash private security firm. That's going to be a little more like, actiony and firefights and like fighting, martial hand to hand stuff. Then I wanted to call them Peddlers of Desire is going to be following Smiling Wolf Studios. That's going to be kind of more of like a on the ground, more gritty, like crime series, right? This is so basically Guardians of Nature is like the foundation, right? Then everything's going to be built up off of it. But Peddlers of Desire is going to follow like Victor around a lot as he does his investigations, because they don't just take care of smilers and demonic incursions and things like that, right? They got to make sure that their neighborhoods and everything don't turn into fucking shitholes. So it's one of those things like, okay, well, we want everyone to want to come into work today. So if we want everyone to come into work today, let's make sure that there isn't some fucking whacked out psychopath killer going around knocking people off. And then everyone's like, I don't really want to come into that part of town. They're like, fine. So that one's a little more on the ground stuff. And then I don't know what to call the one. There's one book I want to do in it, but I don't know what to call it. Because it's not going to follow the Wolverine. It's set in their area, but there is a church, and it's going to be introduced in a few of them. Like they'll be referenced. But there's a church called the Church of the Redemptions, right? And it's a vampire church. And the whole point behind this is literally what it says on the tin. They are vampires that are trying to seek redemption from Cordyceps' curse. They don't want it or anything like that. They didn't understand what they were doing or whatever. It doesn't matter. But they're trying to basically like repent for it because they don't want to suffer the end fate of it. Which the end fate is if you're a vampire and you die, your soul doesn't go into the divine realms or anything like that. You don't go into the spirit life. No, no. Your soul, if you die as a vampire, goes straight to Cordyceps and he eats it. And you are gone forever. There's no no second chances, no like trying to rejoin the cycle, no friends, no family or anything. No, no, you're gone. And that's we discussed it before. Remember, silver. Again, this is connected. I know it sounds like we're going on a wild fucking tinfoil hat ride here. Silver is the metal of truth. So the Wolverine do not suffer the bane of silver. If you attack them with silver things, it's just silver, right? Because Wolverines are werewolves. They're not like it's not like a thing that's put in them or anything like that. False Ulfer are not. They have been inflicted with lycanthropy. So they suffer the bane of silver because they're not supposed to be werewolves. They have an affliction. Same thing with what vampires do. Vampires suffer the bane of silver because they're supposed to be dead. Same with skeletons and zombies and ghouls and things like that, right? Ah. But Wolverine will show up in the reflection of silver, right? So if there are silver mirrors, or if you look at your silver spoon, like, and you turn it so you can see the reflection of a Wolverine, it will always show the wolf. They will always show their true form in the reflection of silver, because again, silver is the metal of truth. So silver's reflection removes guises. If a false sulfur walks past a silver mirror, they look like their human self. They look like their humanoid self, right? So that's how they can kind of infiltrate past silver mirrors. Vampires, when they walk past a silver mirror, when normal mirrors, they'll show their reflection. Silver mirrors show the truth of it. They have no reflection. And it's because it's basically mirroring their fate to them, literally. It's literally mirroring their fate to them. They have nothing that's going to be left after them, right? So that's why, and it's also to put back in with old lore where vampires don't show up in mirrors, right? Here they don't show up in silver mirrors. A lot of societies start with silver as their mirror surface because it's so pure and clean. So you'll start with like bronze and copper mirrors and things like that, just really polish them up, stuff like that. But there's always problems with that, right? There's not a lot of clarity in those. But then you'll get to silver mirrors, and that actually has a ton of clarity. It looks really crisp and clean. But over time, for monetary reasons and manufacturing and procurement of resources and everything, it's much better to use like aluminum backing, right? Far better. So they so the most of the modern mirrors, like by the time Guardians of Nature takes place, almost everything, every mirror is a normal aluminum backed mirror, right? But there are still those that are silver, which is what caught Michael Wolff off guard, was because Jennifer Woods had a little makeup kit that had a little silver mirror. And she was looking through the silver mirror at herself, and then she saw over her shoulder the wolf that was slowly trying to unlock the door to the visitor center. Yeah, that's the whole point. Because silver is such a pure metal, in my setting, it's the metal of truth, right? Silver is silver. It is what it is. So it has that problem. That's why the Bane of Silver affects different things the way it does. Like if you attack a vampire with silver, well, the truth of it is you're supposed to be dead. So it's going to inflict the Bane of Silver on you. And same thing with a zombie, same thing with skeletons and things like that. It's like, no, you're a fucking corpse. You go back to being a corpse. For false sulfur, it does the same thing because it's denying the wolf that they've been inflicted with. It's like, no, you're just a human. Stop it. No, you're just an elf. No, you're just a dwarf. But if you stab a wolverine with it that are werewolves, it doesn't do anything to them because that's their existence. That's what they are. They are wolverine. So silver doesn't do anything to them. But the reflection of silver does. The reflection of silver always shows the wolverine for who they truly are, which is their full form, the wolverine form itself. False sulfur always reflect back as whatever their humanoid form was, be it an elf, a dwarf, a human, right? Oh, let's go on that one for a second. Hold on. Oh my goodness sake, sorry. And then, like I said, yeah, vampires, when they reflect in silver, there's nothing there because their fate is literally, their soul is going to be brought right to Cordyceps' jaws. And as for the stakes for vampires, the most effective is a red oak. What do you mean in that? I'm curious. What makes red oak the most effective? Oh wait, what am I doing? I was on the wrong fucking. We've done that the whole time. Ugh, stupid me. There you go. We're on the right page. Yeah. Also, staking a vampire will work in mine because their whole thing is revolves around blood, right? So silver, it's stop lying to yourself. Be you, basically. Yeah. You can actually create powerful relics for truthfulness or finding the truth of things if you use silver in a lot of the manufacturing of it. There was, in Cordyceps' time, there was actually a cult known as the Truth Seekers who used silver swords and everything like that, and they would put people to the questions. They would force them. They would force them to put their hands on the blade, and they would ask them the questions. And if they lied, well, if they lied, they died. It was kind of a two extreme versions because everybody keeps secrets. You know, go to real, right? Hmm. Man, mine stakes are anything you can get that punctures their heart, right? Because that's all vampires are now. Is they're just the blood vessel, right? That's all there is. The heart is still there. It's not. It's the housing and everything that pushes and forces. It's through everything. It's what everything wills through, right? So if you puncture it, that stuns them. Doesn't kill them outright, but you do that and then you stick them in the sun and let them rot. Yeah. So Oh my goodness. Now a silver stake though, yeah, that would be an interesting one. Like spend that much money to make a silver stake. That I'd say would outright kill, right? Here, holy symbols don't, right? Here are the like holy symbols. Like you can't show the sigil of Cordysoth or of Meraxes or anything like that and harm the vampire, or like get them to flee or anything like that. Meraxes has other more manipulative things, right? Silver plated had to cheap out. I mean, it would still work. It still got a covering of silver. Yeah, Cordysoth has his other plans. Remember, we talked about like why nothing the vampires do. They can't coordinate. Vampire nobles can't coordinate with each other well. And every single organization that vampires have made to help further themselves or protect themselves or, gain power in the shadows always collapses in spectacular fashion with infighting and schemes and uprisings and coups and everything throughout the organization is because of Cordysoth. Cordysoth's punishments are always extended out. He wants people to suffer, right? Vampire nobles. I specifically said nobles, anti-Boy Scout. Remember, there's a difference. I'll talk about the difference here in a second. But let's focus on this point real quick, right? So, Cordysoth has a secret aspect to the curse, and it's secret because it's so fucking subtle, right? Like vampires have put together the pieces of like what can we do, what can't we do. There's some obvious ones like hold your hand out in the sun, and you see it start rotting and stuff like that. It's like, oh, okay, well, don't go in the sun. Got it. Or if you do, you're gonna need to keep spending your energy source, which again, Cordysoth didn't expect that they would use blood as a magical fuel source. So he was kind of like, clever little fucks. And they got around that loophole. They found a loophole. But he's like, whatever. I can't recast the curse. Because remember, a curse is a wound on the entirety of the multiverse, right? Once a curse has been laid, it's laid. You don't want to fuck with it. He would have to recast a new curse that removed the old curse and do like a patch update, right? But it wouldn't just be a patch. It would have to be like, and remove all instances of this and then put this over it. And so he'd just be compounding the wound. So he gave it his shot, and the fact that they found a loophole, he's just like, clever little fucks. But the subtle thing is that when two vampire nobles are in the same room, there is a small little kernel in their subconscious that is slowly ticking up. And this little kernel is paranoia, right? And their distrustful nature. It starts off with no value whatsoever. And two nobles enter the room, and they interact with each other. And it slowly, each hour, ticks up. Just one little notch. One little notch. One little notch. So it goes from 0 to 0.0001, 0002, 0003. And it is slowly ticking its way up. More and more and more. As they become more paranoid and they fuel it themselves and everything. Because he wants it to be that if they try to form like groups together, he wants them to get really connected and close and understand each other. And so then when the trap is sprung, when the ticking time bomb is continued, and their paranoia can no longer be put aside, and they will start killing each other, and they will do it in crazy abandon, and they will take out many, many of their own kind in one fell swoop. Now, this was him originally thinking of just vampire nobles. Before they were called nobles, they were just vampires, right? It was then one of them, and they always figure it out. Every single world that gets to the that you try to use the thing, because remember, to become a vampire, you need to use the spell to try to gain immortality, and then that's what gets Cordysoth's curse slapped on you. Is you try to undergo the life ritual. But anyways, so originally he just thought it was going to be the people that did the life ritual. But then every single one of them has another loophole figured out that if they drain the blood from someone and they stick their cursed blood in that person, they make a lesser vampire. And Cordyceps was another one of another one of those eye twitch moments, like, you clever little fucks. But he also wasn't surprised because, again, to get to the point where you're even trying the life ritual, you already had to be a pretty powerful fucking mage, right? So you already had to be clever and intelligent as it was. Then the problem becomes Cordyceps cut them off from all magic. And they can't call upon any of the magics they had. And then they figured out, well, we can use the blood as a fuel source instead. And that was, of course, Cordyceps is just like, fuck, little shits. But it doesn't matter because he knows he wins in the end no matter what happens, right? The moment the vampire dies, their soul comes straight to him and he eats it. But he did just have one of those moments of just like, these clever little fucking loophole finding, exploiting pieces of shit. Oh well. Yeah, they're going to suffer in the end. Doesn't matter. But this is why the redemption path even works. Because those people, those lesser vampires, because now once the vampires figured out that they could like put their cursed blood and they could make lesser versions of themselves, they uplifted themselves to nobility, right? And the lesser vampires are their servants. Once they figured out that they could do that, they started doing it with reckless abandon, which has also got the shifters on them. This is why the whole classic thing of werewolves versus vampires, and like why is that always a staple in so many things? Or not always. Why is it a staple in so many of the things, right? Well, it's because, remember, what is the thing that Meraxis has ordered all Wolverine and all shifters by extension to do? Protect nature, the spirits, and the natural order. Vampires are not the natural order. You kill vampires. Kill them, and kill them real good. Cordyceps kind of frustrated that it stops their suffering sooner, but at the same time he's like, yeah, you know what, these little assholes are trying to turn entire towns into vampires, so fuck them. So then vampires realize they have to be fucking subtle about this shit. Because if you get shifters that realize that there's a vampire in the area, they're going to bring a lot more shifters, and they're going to start looking around, and they're going to try to find you. They're going to try to root your ass out. But, again, all these people, these lessers, haven't, it wasn't their choice. They didn't do the life ritual. So Cordyceps said, well, even though their soul comes straight to my mouth, I don't have to chew it. So he'll pull out people that have been redeemed in his eyes. Remember, you got to redeem yourself in Cordyceps' eyes. And this is where the Church of the Redemption comes in. Because it's not that they know, but they just feel like, it's so hopelessly unfair, right? They're just hoping, beyond hope, that their efforts will lead to something good. Now, what they don't know is that Cordyceps actually agrees with them. It's like, okay, I didn't expect that they were going to have that fucking loophole, so, yeah, no, I'll help it, but you got to redeem yourself in my eyes. Then you have another aspect of the Church of the Redemptions is that shifters, they're like, they don't like the Church of the Redemption, but they're like calm about it, right? They'll have like flocks of ravens, and an unkindness of raven will be all around the church and everything. Werewolves will be checking in on it like constantly. They'll have patrols near it and everything. But they're just like, as long as you're trying to like correct a mistake. And as long as you keep trying to correct a mistake, we'll let you try to correct that mistake. right? So it converts vampire souls are like gum. You put it in your mouth, but don't swallow. For Cortisoth, yes. Remember, Cortisoth is the dragon god of creation. He is the aspects of Severus's ability to create and Severus's eyes, because Cortisoth has true sight. So Cortisoth can actually see magic. But part of Cortisoth's curse is that all the vampires are made painfully aware that when they die, their soul is coming straight to him. They're the nightmares, right? They have the nightmares of the dragon god's jaws. Someone is into anything. I don't. It's one of those things where it's like I stopped giving a shit about like, oh, that sounds like a fetish. It's like somebody fetishizes something of everything. Okay, I don't give a fuck anymore. It's just this is how it works. All right, it's how it works. You'll get a weird one. A fucking weird one's like, oh, I'm gonna go into a big dragon's mouth, and then they kill themselves. And he's like, okay, well, crunch, bye. That was weird. Whatever, he's gone. Yeah, it's literally the. Hang on, wait. It's literally this. It's literally this.
I'm gonna bust you up, plum thumb, and then I'm gonna wear your clothes. That was weird.
That was weird.
I'm gonna bust you up, plum thumb, and then I'm gonna wear your clothes. That was weird.
That was weird. I got a premonition today. Oh no. So I got a minus second of an image I dream of? Huh. Don't know what that means. But yeah. So essentially that's what it is. Again, remember the other thing is that a lot of vampires don't like the Church of the Redemptions because they find them too like morbidly nihilistic, right? Or fatalistic. Fatalistic is more accurate, right? Dude, I need to play the thing remaster. I heard they fixed a bunch of stuff. And they actually made it properly randomized who turns into a thing beast and who doesn't. And properly randomized who turns into a thing beast, who doesn't, and you can keep them from being created by from being a thing beast without if they don't get hit, right? I'm like, okay, that's a really good change because my God, every single person did it. I know Spoonie did it in his review. Mandalore did it in his review. Every person knows the exact one, and it's the guy in the ice tunnel. After you get done with the big warehouse fight, you go down into the ice tunnels. He's been fighting with you the whole time, and you go up to him and you give him a test, and he's totally fine. Then you walk 2 more steps, and he suddenly goes, I'm a thing beast. And everybody's just like, every single review I've ever seen that talks about the Thing video game always shows that guy. Because that is one of the most egregious examples of like game world flags setting and stuff. Yeah, bro, you were fine. What the fuck? I think Spoonie's was like, he's like, bro, you okay over there? Let me give you this little test, just make sure. Okay, you're fine. Well, get up here. And then he's like, and he's like, bro, what the fuck? Oh no, I think he said that's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. Oh, like I said, everybody does that one because that is literally like the prime example of just how fucked it is, right? That's prime example right there. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Sorry, my nose is just Oh, piece of candy. Eat squirming tentacle. Happens just a funny bit or something stupid happened later on. There's nothing awful. Yeah, no. That's again, that's why I said I like that you can actually get it to where they won't change, right? To the point you can even bring them in the boss fights with you. It's like that's really fucking cool. I really like that. Tell you one of my most fun video game things I've ever played had nothing to do with the thing. It was in StarCraft. StarCraft Brood War. There was a use map setting, and it was a thing where it randomly selected one of the players, and one of the players was a thing beast, right? And everyone else, you didn't have one of the mechanics, key mechanics, which was the freezing mechanic. Everyone else had the freezing mechanic. You had to create sources of heat and stay near them. It was a really awesome old use map settings. It was like one of the things that really showed the potential of use map settings, and Blizzard's old editor for StarCraft. Let's see if anybody remembers it, because there was one. It was so fucking cool too. It was so fucking cool. Like you had to go around the base and turn back on the generator and things like that. And whoever was playing as the Thing Beast, they had a thing they could do in the bottom of the screen. You would run a character over a pad and you would transform into a Thing Beast so that you could kill people, right? This is genuinely a really, really cool fucking thing. The Thing is a popular custom map, but it exists in different versions for different StarCraft games. Blech. 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 Damn you. Damn you. Speaking of which, Helldivers 2 got a new update, so pretty much you can go to the hives now. You mean in the hives, maybe? That'd be interesting. But yeah. Like I said, that's the Church of the Redemptions, and I want to put that in like a book series too, because I want to go into the details about how vampires work as well. Oh, you can go to their hive worlds. Okay. Okay. That's interesting. Yeah, so in it too, I wanted to do more of like how the vampires function and stuff like that as well. And that's why the Church of the Redemptions I think will be an interesting one of them trying to resist, because they need the blood still to survive. But again, they don't get any taste from the food or anything like that. It just rots in their mouth and stuff. So they only blood works for them. Because again, it's supposed to be a punishment. It's supposed to be miserable, right? They don't sleep well. They have the nightmares all the time. They have the food rots in their mouth. They rot in the sunlight. There's all kinds of terrible things. But remember, I made it specifically so that it's sunlight, right? Well, cover up. Wear thick, wear coats and things like that and stuff like that. Like, you'll stand out like a sore thumb, but hey, go to a place that has more mild temperatures and everything like that. Walk around during this day, right? You can be out and about during the daytime as long as you're not in direct sunlight. And that's more of a callback to the Secret World, right? Where they had what were known as day suits. Shufta. Move to China. There is no sun, only smog. That's another thing too. I didn't want to make like direct references to like modern or like our world stuff. There's stuff in passing. Like there's a Republic, right? The Republic of Rosentia, which is where all these books take place at. But then you have the GDI, the Golden Dawn Imperium. That's an elf empire. You're going to have the dwarves have their lands and stuff like that. And the whole point behind this, too, is that because there's such a diversity of peoples, there's constant conflict. Because there's no homogenized, like, culture, right? Elves are going to petition for elf things. Dwarves are going to petition for dwarf things. Humans are going to petition for human things. Dracaen are going to petition for Dracaen things. Halflings are going to petition for halfling things, right? No one, because none of them could survive to this point, right? This is remember, this is a world that's 5 world wars deep, right? Their conflict is just happening all the time. So there's a lot more of a loose interpretation of firearms because world wars happen so often. The Second Amendment, as we would know it, is more of a universalized trait because they want the citizenry to be able to defend the homelands too. So it gets a bit harder to have sort of like totalitarianism in it. People have tried, but it's a bit harder when the entire populace can is armed, and they don't suffer peace sickness because there's so many conflicts all the time. Right? Everybody knows that sometimes there's a fight's just going to happen. There's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes it needs to happen. Again, that's part of what makes that's part of why Jonathan Olfither is even doing what he's doing, right? No, it has to be like if the sun. It's basically if the sun can see the skin, right? If the sun can see the skin, if it can visually see it. So if you use a parasol and things like that, you're technically safe. Because the way that the curse was worded was specifically the sun's sight shall cast you back into the earth where you belong. And that's the whole, like, you start rotting. So, as long as you don't do that. However, again, loopholes they figured out if we block the direct sunlight, we were okay. Also, and this also means like windows. You can't have like super UV resistant windows and just be standing there and watching the sun, right? No, if the sun can see you, you suffer the rot, right? Because of the way that the curse was worded in particular. Now, you'll have some vampires that'll just walk in the sunlight anyways, and they'll be channeling the blood pool that they have to regenerate, right? So their body's rotting, but they're using their blood surplus to regenerate. And it's so that they can try to hide that they're normal, right? Because you only need to do that until like, hey, I'm just gonna go to the cafe and everything like that and pretend like that and like get yourself a little drink or whatever. Now, again, this is all for pretensions because the drink isn't gonna do anything good to you either. So one way glass wouldn't work either. Oh, excuse me, real quick. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. My IBS kicked in. BRB, chat. BRB. Oops, that's what I meant to do. But okay, that's fine. You can see. But yeah, by the way, chat, as I said, we're officially over 200 pages now. Hooray. Hooray, hooray. I'm debating on one-way glass. That's what I was debating on. I was thinking, I was like, it depends if the one-way glass does not let any of the sun's light through. Right? But then it's like, okay. Unfortunately, though, then you've got visible light, right? That's light. That's how you see through the one-way glass, right? So it's like, I don't think, I think for it, I would rule that one-way glass does not work. Because there is some level of light that's coming through it so that you can see, right? Like, that's how it's visible through the glass. You can actually see through it. So I think I would rule that as no, one-way glass would not work. So like no interrogation room glass or stuff like that. But again, it'd also be a pretty big, if I did let it work, it'd be a pretty big fucking red flag, right? That, hey, there might be vampires here. Well, how can you tell, little third talon werewolf? Well, look at all the one-way glass all over that building. Oh, you're right. Let's go investigate. Let's go investigate. Oh. Also, there's going to be three, there's three kind of tiers of vampire, by the way. You have the commoners, which are people that didn't undergo the life ritual that got turned, right? You have the magistrates. Those ones will be the mages that vampires turn. Because remember, vampires, to be a vampire noble, you had to have been a high level mage to begin with. You had to be a really good mage to begin with to even try the life ritual. And again, in spite of all the warnings on the ritual, like Cordyceps, like, there are always warnings on the ritual that you should not attempt this. And yet, they always do. They can't help themselves. It's kind of like the Willy Wonka thing, where Willy Wonka keeps giving warnings. Stop, don't, no, come back. And he's just kind of tired of it because he knows they're not listening. He's like, why doesn't he listen to Willy Wonka? Why don't they listen? There's always warnings, and yet they always do it anyways. Always, always, always. They don't think it through. They think, oh, I'm gonna be the one that's different. And Cordycep's like, nah, you ain't. It'll be different when I do it because I know me and I'm smart. And Cordycep's just shaking his head like, no, you ain't. Yes. There's no skin or flesh exposed. Yep. But obviously there'll be tells, right? Because the skin won't move in the same natural way that skin does, right? It won't fold and crease, and if you ever check your forehead, right? Secondary skin, stuff like that will stop you. So to get to heaven, we need to give our everlasting gobstopper to the dragon. Kind of. Mr. Leatherface over here. Yeah, pretty much. But that's what I mean. Like, you can do it, but it becomes kind of obvious when people know what they're looking for, right? Right. So when the NDA sees somebody walking around town looking all posh and things like that, and they have a parasol, and they're very insistent about keeping the parasol towards the sun, it's kind of like we should follow that guy. You know what I mean? It's those signs that you're giving off. It's like those things that just look weird. So like if you're in a warm, temperate area and you're wearing like really thick clothing and things like that, it's like that's weird. All right, follow that guy. Follow them. That is strange. Well, that was weird. Just watching someone casually walk out in a full on like trench coat with scarf and a big old wide brim hat and things, and they're walking down the street when there's no one else. Meanwhile, everyone else is just wearing like shorts and like a really thin fabric shirt and all that stuff like that because it's hot out and stuff, and you're like walking around in a full decked out. You look like fucking Mr. X, right? You're like, okay, that guy stands out like a sore thumb, or that girl, doesn't matter, neither one. It's like they stand out like a sore thumb. Follow them. There's something going on there. It's like, hey, why don't you take your hat off for a second? I would prefer not to. Well, I'm gonna tell you to take your hat off. NDA. How do you do, fellow humans? Yeah. Funnily enough, that's how some of the Wolverine feel at times. They feel like because they get older and older, right? Jonathan Ulfvither, he's a little more clued in because he created the furry fandom in universe, right? Specifically to try to lessen the blow of what the conflict that's inevitably going to happen because it's going to have to, right? The Third World War was about dragons being discovered being real, and Jonathan's just like, oh fuck, the world reacted that badly to dragons, and they're big and make themselves known. How do you think they're going to react when they realize that walking amongst them, people that they can't distinguish from each other, there are us, us werewolves and stuff walking amongst them? How do you think they're going to handle that? Not well. But a lot of Wolverine, a lot of shifters as they get older, they feel less and less like in touch with humanity. So they have those moments of like, how do you do, fellow human? Even though they originally were, well, for most of them, some of them are feral born. And again, that's just the thing, right? Part of their thing, they have genetic backups in the feral species that they could shift between. Of course, some of them are going to partake. Just be fucking honest. It'd be dishonest to say, oh, they'll never ever do that ever. It's like, no, somebody's gonna do it. We know how thinking creatures fucking think. Somebody's gonna do it. So there are feral born that have never had that, and they have that experience of how do you do, fellow human, way earlier. But for those that were human or elf or dwarf or halfling or whatever, right? They have that later on in life where the times have changed so dramatically, and they still like hovering on the outskirts, right? White Wolverine moment. Yep, absolutely. That's not how you spell Wolverine, but you're close enough. I know what you mean. But it's Wulvarin. Wolverine. I would never kill humans. That is my least favorite thing to do. Try to pay the maximum attention. Try to pay the maximum amount of attention. It's like, okay, that's a skinwalker sentence right there. Woo. Yeah, those are they all have that kind of feeling, right? Because again, a lot of them they're tangentially on the periphery of humanity, right? But you have stuff like where Jonathan Ulvither, he's 202 years old. Obviously, he's gonna have those moments. He's more plugged into everything, right? Because of his methodology for softening the blow of the inevitable conflict. But even he's gonna have those like moments where he's gonna look dumbfounded at people being people around him, and he's just like, "What? Am I that out of touch?" No, it is the people that are wrong. uh, hey, Panda Pop. Yeah, exactly, Dimitri. He knew exactly what I was going for. No, it's the people that are wrong. No, no. But again, it's just natural, right? Things progress. Mm. But again, the NDA is not the only one that's keeping an eye on them, right? The shifters are keeping an eye on vampires as well, because part of the divine mandate, remember? Protect nature, the spirits, and the natural order. And vampires violate the natural order. So shifters are very keenly hunting vampires. Again, the exception, which proves the rule, being the Church of the Redemptions, because they're like, okay, you're trying to fix the divot, right? You're out on the golf course and you sliced a big old chunk of the turf up, but you're trying to fix that divot. Okay, we'll leave you be, not to do whatever you want, but we'll leave you be. Like, our eyes are on you. We're watching. Oh snap! Ran out of memory. What the fuck? What do you mean? Fucking YouTube chat. I swear. Hold on. Thanks. Thanks, YouTube chat. Just repost everything that was said before. Good job. Warnings are pussy's room. We do it anyways. There you go. At least your message finally showed up, Sir Reginald. But as you can see, based off of where it was, it's way out of order. Like, it went back to the fucking super chat and everything. Oh, but seriously, what do you mean you're out of memory? Hold on. Hold the phone. How? How are you out of memory, YouTube? How are you out of memory, YouTube chat? Ugh. Stupid thing. Eat me! You're messing with the order! Wally Gator cartoon from Cartoon Network. Wally Gator? I don't know it. Oh, I know. I just didn't know the name. I know this character. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this was never one of the ones I watched, right? Man, Hanna-Barbera had so many of these like cartoons that were just so... They were just low effort, I think would be the best way to say it. Oh yeah, no, there were tons of funny ones. Oh no, I thought you would be talking about like Josie and the Pussycats and the what was the what was the one? There's the one with the shark, right? As their animal mascot. Like, and the Scooby Doo had a crossover with them. Oh, I think you're right there. Hold on. Yeah, Jabberjaw. That was it. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Actual versions of the cartoon, and then there were the crazy shorts, Jabberjaw. Yep. Jabberjaw had a crossover with Scooby Doo. So did the one with the dune buggy, right? There was another one where it was a sentient dune buggy. Yeah. Oh my god. Speed buggy. Holy shit. Oh, look. Here's the Scoobypedia entry for it. Speed buggy. Speed Buggy is a sentient talking dune buggy and mascot of the Speed Bugs. He is best friends with his driver, Tinker. Yeah, holy shit. There were so many of these. Again, Hanna-Barbera was not known for its quality. Let's put it that way. They were known for putting out as much quantity as they possibly could. Oh yeah, it is why so many of those animation things were so like fly by the seat of their pants moments too. Like Scooby Doo has an entire fucking catalog of all the animation fuck ups and everything, like the wrong colorations or things like that, or the wrong mouth being animated for somebody talking like Fred will be speaking, but Shaggy's mouth will be moving and stuff like that. Or then Shaggy will have blonde hair. It's just like, oh my god. It was not about consistency or quality. It was all about, quantity. They needed it out. They needed it out, and they needed it out now. Am I glad he's frozen in there, and that we're out here, and that he's the sheriff, and that we're frozen out here, and that we're in there, and I just remembered we're out here. What I want to know is, where's the caveman? We don't need quality if we got quantity. Yeah, but then you have like the United States where they can have both. Because that was always the thing. It's like you can either have quality or you can have quantity, or you can be the United States and you get both. Like the Sherman tank. You can have quality and quantity. Sherman tank assembly line goes. Oh my god, the snorks! Oh my god, you guys never seen? If you've never seen what these little things look like, they are like the try hard not be Smurfs knockoff as much as possible, right? Look at this. Look at this shit. The snorks. Again, Hanna-Barbera was not known for quality. They were known for getting as many out as possible. Then you had fun ones. Hold on a second. This is a fun one. Rocky and Bullwinkle, baby. This was Rocky and Bullwinkle was always fun. I actually have a pinball machine of this. Right? Back when the old penny arcade auctions would happen. And I don't mean penny arcade. I mean they're literally penny auctions, right? That's going to be a wild concept. Okay. So, back in the day, you could go to these auctions, right? And you would bring an extension cord with you, right? And you would plug in these arcade machines and you would be able to play full-on arcade games. It was like a big kid's dream, right? I was a little whelp at the time. But you would go in there and there was arcade machines and pinball machines everywhere. They had all kinds of them, more advanced models, older models, like all kinds of them. And the only thing you had to do, because they were all set up to be free play for everything, was all you had to do was go and plug in your extension cord, and that's it. And you could play them, and then they would have auctions. This is the way to ensure. It's like, hey, do you want to ensure that the arcade cabinet works? Well, play the damn thing. Well, the arcade cabinet works. Okay, when we go to the auction now, you know, hey, this is the lot number. This is what I want for the arcade thing. They were the penny arcade auctions. All of them started out at, there was no like reserve number. Well, there was a reserve number, but they started out at a single penny, right? And then they would go up from there. And the reason they started at 1 was actually a psychological thing, right? Because you might be thinking, well, they started 1 penny. That seems weird, right? It's going to take you a long time to get up to the higher number. No. Because humans are weird, right? When you observe the humans, you realize they're weird. And when you start at a single penny, things get out of hand very quickly. Because what it does is it incentivizes more people to jump in, right? Like, all right, starting at 1 penny, and we got 1 penny, 1 penny. All right, I'll put in 2, 5, I'll do 10. And again, these are all different people. I'll do $1, I'll do $2, $5, $10, and these are all different people still. Do you understand what is actually happening here, right? You're invested now. It doesn't matter you haven't spent any money. By just saying like, yeah, I could do $1 for this, you are now more invested in the outcome of this particular auction, of this particular item. So you're more likely to continue jumping in. It's a way to get more people in. It's like, well, I was already willing to do $10. I guess I'd be willing to do 100. I was willing to do 100. I guess I'll be willing to do 200. You know, it's this way it goes, right? Yeah, no, it's that's where we got the Rocky and Bullwinkle machine. My grandsire, he has the Jurassic Park pinball machine, the Shaquille O'Neal pinball machine, bunch of dartboards. He likes dartboards. Wanted to get the Lost World arcade cabinet, but no, unfortunately couldn't get that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's humans are funny. Humans are funny. Psychology really can be really effective. It's the reason why Costco puts all the most expensive items at the very front of the store, right next to the front door. They put all the super expensive shit right there. Because when you walk by the super expensive shit, you realize, well, I just saved all that money. I didn't buy anything expensive. I could treat myself. Not me. I'm built different. I'm built different because I'm poverty percent, right? I'm built different in that way. I'm built different. I've got poverty. The Jurassic Park one is really fucking cool. Hang on, let me see if I can find the exact one he has. It's this one. Hang on, I gotta make sure it has the thing. Yep, it's this one. This is the one he has. Okay. This is the one he has. It's such a cool fucking pinball machine. It's such a cool fucking pinball machine. Right. So this is the command console, and you have to fill. If you fill up all of the command console things, you get a super event. Right. By the way, when they say feed T-Rex, they mean it. This is an actual animatronic T-Rex that eats the ball. It eats the ball. It eats the pinball. This is such a cool fucking arcade. This is such a fucking cool pinball machine. It really is. And when you get the full like light up of the entire command thing, and it does the system powering down, goes back through system boot and everything, all the fences and everything go wild and stuff. It is such a cool fucking. It's a cool fucking experience. Yeah, I'll show you the Rocky and Bullwinkle one. Hold on a second. Rocky and Bullwinkle pinball. I don't know if there's multiple of them, but that looks like the one I've got. It's because of the top thing, right? But I don't know if they made like multiple versions or not. $7,000. What? What the fuck? What the fuck? Yep, this is it. It's such a cool fucking pinball machine too. Wonder if they'll have like. No, they don't have any of the pictures to show it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so here's what the game field looks like. And the thing you'll hear all the time. The thing you'll hear all the time when you play it is a shoo, and that's supposed to be Rocky flying around. Shoo, all the time. Cheap, I could buy that by starving myself for 1 month. So I thought maybe 6 months, yeah. Jesus Christ, I know. Holy shit. That's why I was like, when I saw it, I was like, I've taken pretty good care of mine, but I doubt I'm gonna get 7,000 for it. Holy shit. Holy shit. Whew. Oh my god. Hold on. No. I wonder. Hold on. No, not electronic. Guts maybe. Has anybody opened it? Because when my grandfather opened up, when he opened up the pinball machine to show you what's underneath, and you lift the whole playing field up so you could see the rat's nest of wires everywhere. I looked and I was like, holy shit. When he lifted up, no, this is the electronic one. I want the original. Hang on, maybe 1993. When he lifted that up, and showed you like the wiring he had to look at and everything, I stared at those wires and I was like, holy mother of God. It was like thousands and thousands of wires. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, what do you call like maybe internals? So much of this stuff is like the new electronic ones where you just have a motherboard that does all this. Insides, perhaps? Let's see, let's try this. Data East, Jurassic Park, Pinball, Internals. Oh, maybe board. Hold on, let's try board. No, because board sounds more like motherboard, which is what I don't want. I want to show you guys the wiring thing for it. I tried wiring. Where do you see the one with lots of wiring? Now we're doing the pinball machine. This is one my grandsire has this one. Found one pic. Can you send it to me on Discord? Yeah, go ahead. Okay. Oh boy, here we go. That actually looks cleaner than what his was. There you go, chat. This is actually the least amount of wires I've seen. But yeah, look at that. Look at that. This is basically what it is, though. Yeah. Can you just imagine? Yeah. Looks like a city of wires. That's what it is, basically. That's the only reason it's as organized as it is. Yeah, just look at this. Look at all these, like, runoffs and everything going everywhere. Look at that. Let me see if I can find a video of. See if I can find a video of the Jurassic Park pinball machine. Hold on a second. No, I don't want the OST it plays. Oh, that was always really cool, by the way. When you finished a round, when you finished all your pinball stuff, and you see if you got the score match and stuff. No, I don't want that one. I want the Data East one. I wish there was one like I wish somebody had it and they showed the full control module light up, right? Okay. Oh my god, those sounds. Oh, here we go. Here we go. System failure mode. All right. All right. All right, chat. System failure mode. Okay. Turn it down a little bit. He should have been there by now. Oh. This is what's on the screen, by the way, that's above the pinball machine. Pinball playfield. Better be ready! See, the pinballs are coming out from everywhere. Like, oh god! It's just so crazy because it just keeps feeding more and more and more and more and more. It just keeps going and going and going. By the way, yeah, when system failure does, it literally disconnects the flippers and everything. And then it just kicks out a new ball. Oh, I love that. Is just so fucking cool. The system, again, like I said, man, I remember what the board looked like, right? Do you know how fucking cool this was? And this still is, honestly. To get a full, you light up the entire control console, the entire command console, and then trigger the system failure. And like I said, this is the thing above the playfield. This is a full, as you can see, it's fully animated and everything. It's such a cool fucking system. It really is. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Whenever the T-Rex eats, if you get a special event T-Rex eat, right? It actually plays a full sound of like, oh god, no, no, oh god, no, ah, and you hear it like crunch as it bites the pinball and everything, and he lifts it up, and then it swallows, and you hear the T-Rex go belch, and just goes, bleh. Oh. Oh, you can't see it. Here we go. This is what gives you the special, right? T-Rex. Feed the T-Rex 4 times. Oh. Oh, here we go. I think this is it. I think this is the T-Rex feed. Hold on. Down he goes. Jump. Okay, thank God the safety measure kicked in, so he got his tri-ball. God, I love this arcade machine. This is so much fun. It's just genuinely so much fucking fun. I wish I could. I wish I could find the spot where the T-Rex goes to eat the guy, and he's screaming, "Go, God, no, 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 ah!" and gets eaten. Jackpot! Ah. The Rocky and Bullwinkle one's fun too, to have the super mode. The Rocky and Bullwinkle one, it you follow Sherman and Mr. Peabody as they go back through time. Really, really fun. Really, really fun mechanic. I'm Mr. Peabody, and I'm Sherman. Oh, Bullwinkle. Whoops. Bullwinkle. Ow. All right. Bullwinkle. No, do the pinball machine. Data East 19. So it was Data East as well. I didn't realize. Hmm. Hmm. What's the other one called? Pinstrats Dan. I don't know if he'll have it. He's got a bunch of cool ones. Let's see. Rocky and Bullwinkle. He doesn't have Rocky and Bullwinkle. Damn. That would have been fucking cool. Oh, wait, I should show you what my uncle has. Hold on. Um, hold on. This is what my uncle has. This is such a fucking cool pinball machine. I don't want like tutorial stuff like that. I don't want a tutorial. I want to show the pinball. So this one wasn't made by Data East. This was made by a company called Bally, right? Hold on. This This pinball machine is so fucking cool. The Creature from the Black Lagoon pinball machine. Such a cool fucking pinball machine, and it does a bunch of meta stuff in it as well. For 1992, keep in mind. So you're watching the premise of this pinball machine is that you are one of the cars at the drive-in movie theater watching the Creature at the Black Lagoon. Right? That's the narrative of this pinball machine. So there's so many like get your free refills at the concession stand thing, like announcements and things like that come up, and like angry drivers, honk honk, move your car, or getting stuck in the trunk. It's so fucking good. Yep, writing a book, Optimus. Right now we're taking a moment because we started discussing like a bunch of other wild things. But the current book we're on is over 200 pages now officially. It is the Guardians of Nature, which revolves around the Wolverine or werewolves in my setting. Like, again, this is such a cool fucking pinball machine, though. My uncle has this one. I have the Rocky and Bullwinkle one. Uncle has the Creature from the Black Lagoon. My grandsire has the Jurassic Park and the Shaquille O'Neal pinball machines. Like, this is such a really cool fucking pinball machine. This is such a cool pinball machine. I can't even begin to tell you. Like, it's super, as you can tell, is film. You know, actually like start the film. Thing.
Now on with the show.
Stay cool, Daddy-o. It's dark in here. Help! Thank you. Enjoy the show. L. Two moves of the car. 3 moves. Almost there. 4 moves. Oh! Such a fun. This thing is so cool. Sorry, I'm having so much fucking nostalgia right now. Does he get one where he gets the full thing? Oh, hang on. You could kind of see it there for a second. But when you get it properly, there's actually a thing that moves up, and it's one of those like old-time holographic films, right? Where depending on what angle you look at it, it looks 3D. It's the perspective twist thing, and it comes up and rests against this, so it looks like the creature is like coming up to look at you and stuff. It's really fucking neat. It's really neat. Oh. Probably there's a spot where I could see it. Oh. So it has multiple screens. There you go. See? Shoot the snack bar. Oh, it's just fun. This stuff's just fun. Pinball machines are just fun. Right? Creature from the Black Lagoon was a really fun one. Move your car! Uh. I don't know what I've heard. It's what, Dawn of Reckoning? Yeah, I saw Warrior Priest. Warrior Priest talked about it. Yo Luigi talked about it. Yeah, yeah. Oh my god, I thought of it again. It's gonna look sus as fuck, but I thought of it right before he said it both times. uh, it's gonna have Wrath of Heroes. Why? Wrath of Heroes was bad. Ah! All right, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But I did hear Dawn of Reckoning is going to be more like Live was for terms of balance and everything, right? Because I've heard fucking Return of Reckoning hasn't learned its lesson and is making the time to kill longer for some fucking reason. What the fuck? Oh, he was gonna make Wrath of Heroes, and he decided to make a war server because peeps wanted it. Okay. Okay, yeah. I agree with that much more. I think we need to get it back to what it was on Live, and then balance off of that, right? Back to what it was on Live, and then start tweaking things. When you started tweaking shit wildly with Return of Reckoning, now we've gotten into this fucking nightmare. Where Time to Kill is a horror show. Ugh. Ugh. Brr. Brr. Sorry. Sorry, I'm just having memories of double pot regen wheeze. double bubble regen wheeze. No. No. Fuck off. Fuck off, please. Well, it's super fast for Time to Kill now in warbands because they did something to bellows and challenges. Now AoE just melts everyone in seconds and blobs. Oh my god, it's like the early days, or it's like when Tier 5 first came out and the first one on the Gorfang server was a Sork, and Pit of Shades nuked entire warbands in seconds. It was like, what the fuck? Holy shit. Oh, thank fuck. Okay, that's nice. Did they unnerf the keg though? On Return of Reckoning, did they unnerf me keg? Is me keg good? Can it heal more than just the people in my party? Please? Oh. Oh man. But yeah. For anyone that doesn't know, early days of Warhammer Online, they had to put in a cap, okay? Because what would happen... They still haven't given IB Grumble and Mutter back? Wow. Alright. Fucking assholes. Alright. Anyways, early days Warhammer Online. So you would have keep sieges and stuff, right? That's what Warhammer Online is known for. It's PvP. But you'd have keep sieges and stuff, right? And if you were losing, you could do a scummy thing, which was to use bright wizards, all casting rain of fire, and it would melt the server. And it would force the server to shut off. The server would literally be forced to shut off. No, you're not taking our keep. I cast Dicksplosion. They eventually patched it, but it was still funny in the early days, right? 4 bright wizards. What would happen if you had 4 bright wizards with rain of fire with an AOE size that's part like a good size of a small country? Hey, Brady Wastelander. Yeah, you missed it. We went over some of the book. We went over some of the mechanics, stuff like that, too, for the vampires and some of the werewolves a little bit. No, I can't lose. Allah Akbar. Yeah, basically. Aloha, snack bar. Oh, please let Donna Adelson fucking testify. I her defense probably won't let her, or probably doesn't want to let her, but yeah. Catch the VOD? Yeah, no worries. I cast server maintenance. Basically. Okay. Oh my goodness. Ugh, right. So anyways, chat, again, yeah, we're over 200 pages now officially in the book. So I'm super happy about that. Right now I'm dealing with the Samantha, we're going to deal with the Samantha section where she's going to shift for the first time. Because obviously the NDA is trying to grab her now. Then we're going to have a section with Michael, from Michael's perspective, as he goes to meet Jonathan and William. Things are going to calm down a little bit, but Michael and Jonathan are going to see something that's going to freak them the fuck out. Yeah. That was a lot of errors. Yeah, so they'll see something that freaks them the fuck out, but things will be like calmer for a second. It's literally that the calm right before the storm. Jennifer will sneak into the hotel on the day of filming. And you filming what, you might ask? Well, most of the chat knows. Filming the werewolf porno. She's going to sneak into the hotel on the day that the live stream broadcast starts. Which Jonathan will be back for just a moment and just being like... Because Jonathan's now on the verge of his nerves being shot. Because now William is so fucking close to... William's close to snapping and shifting for the first time. Meraxis gets informed, aka Woodwolf. Yeah, Jennifer Woods. She would look at him and be like, "Will." But no, that's the thing. That thing too is like I think that would be a fun game, and sure it'd be for titillation, right? But I would definitely make that game because that'd be a good like meta cross promotion, right? The Smiling Wolf game, you know, 10 men, 10 women, two amongst them are werewolves, and they have to figure out who it is, and it's a porno. Gamifying it, so keep people more invested, more watching, spending more time on money for watch hours and stuff. While also, again, because it's such an outlandish thing, getting it spread around more and more and more. Honestly, Jonathan even says oh wow, the pirate sites are already like starting to do it. They're on an hour delay, but they're putting them up already. Like, I don't fucking care. Let them let them do it. The end goal isn't specifically the money. The end goal is to pad things so that when the inevitable conflict comes, there'll be a lot less running and screaming. No, it's not even that. It's not even a prank thing. They're well aware what it is, but the contestants have been told, like, if they figure out who the two are, they'll get like bonuses and things like that, right? Because again, Jonathan doesn't care about the money at this point. That's not what this is. He's specifically trying to filter things out more and more so that people are more comfortable with the idea that werewolves exist. Even if they rationalize this stuff away, again, the broadcast itself is on a 3-hour delay. Part of that is to obfuscate where it's taking place, but obviously the reader will know, as will a bunch of the people around, because they know the hotel. But he wants to obfuscate the time that it's actually taking place, because he's not going to tell them how long the delay is. And this also gives them time to add incidental stuff whenever there's a werewolf on any of the cameras, so that they can make people rationalize away what it is, right? So they'll have stuff like they'll add a little bit of film grain and things like that, and the camera will like flicker and bug a bit. And maybe there'll be like a little zipper that you can barely see because the camera's lighting is like it's glinting off of a metal thing on the back, so that's clearly a zipper. Right? So just small little things. They don't want to make it obvious. Right? You don't want it to be cartoonishly silly, because then it'll have the opposite effect. Be like, why are you it's fucking weird. It won't do anything for his ultimate goal and make more people more suspicious. Like, why is it so cartoonish? But if you have those little subtle things, then people feel like they're clever for noticing. Right? That's one of them. Remember, I already said one of the things Jonathan's going to say, because one of them is going to come up with their solution to the problem. And be like, well, the werewolves have different bits. So, and pulls down the nearest guy's pants and she gives him head and stuff like that. And Jonathan's just like, get the lawyers on the line. I'm hoping she's doing it for the bit, but let's make sure that all of the forms have all been signed out properly, because if that's her level of IQ, yikes. She might be one of those ones that has a legal guardian. She might be a 23-year-old woman with a legal guardian because she's too dumb. So let's make sure that the paperwork is all in order. Yeah, but that wouldn't fit to their ultimate goal, right? This fits their goal. Because again, they're inoculating more and more people to the concept that werewolves exist, stuff like that. And again, his whole thing is he doesn't care so long as the inevitable conflict has less people running around screaming and freaking the fuck out. And he doesn't care if it's because they're down to fuck. He does not give a shit. So long as that's the ultimate end goal, right? That's what he wants. Because it will mean that the conflict won't start as immediately horrifying. So there's more likely of a chance that the conflict can simmer down and be like, okay, this is just the way the world works now. It's fine. You're all fine. We've been here from the beginning. Like, and humanity still lives and exists, okay? You're all fine. We haven't, like, murdered everyone. Oh, out of memory again. Oh, YouTube. Come on. Come on now. Hang on a second. It's going to double post here for a second. There we go. I'm glad. Those are the two that it picked. Fuck It, We Gamble and Max Payne, I Need Internet Porno. Those are the two it chose to double post. Fucking great. That's just great. Yeah, Jennifer Woods will then show up. Sort of been filled with slop from probably, quite honestly, probably. But yeah. The one game we want to do first though is obviously the Survivors game, because that also gives more of the story, whereas the Smiling Wolf Studios hotel game would just be like more for titillation and a bit of cross promotion, right? The Survivors, the Grand War one would actually further the story. Ugh. Shufta. Again, because he wants it to. He wants people to be invested. It being live streamed is important, right? Because he wants people to feel like, hey, if you, the viewer, can also figure out who is who, and get it right the most number of days in a row, we'll send out like a special prize or anything like that, right? Again, he's gamifying it because he wants them to get involved in it as well. Because if they're involved in it, they're more likely to see something. They're more likely to pay attention. Again, it's inoculation, right? He doesn't want them to freak the fuck out when the inevitable Sixth World War starts. He doesn't want them to freak the fuck out when there's suddenly werewolves around. And by extension, it'll lead to the were ravens, the were sharks, and things like that, of being like things that actually exist. Because it's not a hard leap at all once you realize that werewolves exist, that some of these others probably exist too. Yeah, plus it being live streamed, it makes the audience feel more like they get the chance of seeing something, right? It's the anticipation of it, you know? Anticipation can build up to way crazier payoffs. It's why stuff like Fake Taxi and things like that, why they take off so well. Everybody knows what Fake Taxi is, right? You know from the get-go. You know what the massage things are, the massage videos are. You know from the get-go where they're going. It's the build-up to it. And same thing here. There's going to be a lot of downtime, right? But it's the build-up, the anticipation leading up to it. Oh, the misery. Oh my god. I'm disappointed in myself. That stupid song is stuck in my head. What do you mean, Setch? I've never heard of this Faku taxi. Yeah. No, trust me. You've been around enough on the internet. You've heard of it. But it's stuff like that, right? It's the anticipation, the build up, right? No, no, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Because again, that would just be leading into the thing. All of the people that they have participating have been vetted, right? It's the same thing for Smiling Wolf Studios when some of the actors or actresses want to go up, right? When one of the actors or actresses want, they're like, hey, I want to go in some of the more specialist stuff you guys do. Smiling Wolf has to be very fucking careful to bring them in to be like, okay, well, do they talk to a lot of people? What do they do? Like, can we bring them in? Can we trust them? But these are all people that have been vetted. They have those moments of like, I really hope they're not actually that dumb and they're playing a bit right now. they're playing up the porn acting. That's what I'm hopeful for right now. But Jonathan is in one of those ones where he's so fucking frazzled because of the Williams situation. He's just like, like just fucking get the lawyers on the phone. I want to make sure all the paperwork is properly in order because oh my god, she might be legally like retarded. The pornography has already breached our defenses. Remember, that's Jonathan's strategy. But again, he is a lust Wolverine, right? That's kind of what he knows. Williams, because he's Wrath, his is more creating Grey Wolf, right? Which that should be a fun series because Grey Wolf will follow like the more like intrigues and schemes sort of stuff because it's going to follow the shadow war between the Grey Wolf PMC / private security firm versus the NDA, the National Defense Agency. And the NDA can't just go public and try to name and shame them or anything like that because the director of the NDA realizes William has access to a lot of files that we don't want out there, and he could go and he can not only put all of those files out there, but also explain in detail exactly how to read all of those files. And that would really upset the populace. So, in the end, the overall scheme for Grey Wolf is that it'll eventually get what William wants. One, he'll have a tribe of Wolverine that are ready to fight, so that likely what'll happen is when the Sixth World War happens, there'll be the same outcome as what happened with the dragons in the Third World War. He wants them to be like, we can't get rid of you, you're just a part of life, right? Um, and then Grey Wolf wanted to make the NDA change to force the change out. So that's the whole thing with like for the tabletop, for the archivist, I want the archivist to encourage clerical errors and things like that for people playing the NDA perspective. Because that's what the NDA is infamous for. Their system of obfuscation, it's great, but it also causes so many fucking issues. Because people are like, well, which way do I file this? How do I file this? I want those errors to constantly come up. I want that to be a part of the tabletop thing. And then when like the players are like, well, why didn't we get any of our equipment? It's like, oh, well, you filed this way. And it'd be like, no, that's an intentional part of the NDA. This is how scuffed the NDA actually is. It's great in theory to compartmentalize things, but there's a ton of downsides. But everybody's afraid of the big downside of bureaucracy, right? They're afraid of extreme oversight. Yeah, exactly. That's basically what Williams' outcome wants. He wants them to be strong enough that everybody be like, "We're in the open now. We exist, but you're still all here. We haven't done anything. We haven't tried to conquer the world or anything like that. We haven't tried to like take out all of you or anything like that. You're our friends and things like that. Some of you are our family. We're not trying to like control anything here. We're just doing what we've been mandated to do. Like, if we can all go our separate ways, that's fucking fine. That's all we care about. But if it does come to blows, we can fight back. And you're not going to like when we fight back. So again, they want it to become more like the dragons, where the dragons like handily were handling the Third World War, and then all of the governments and everything around the world were just like, okay, fine, we will agree that we'll just leave you be if you leave us be. And the dragon's like, yeah, we don't fucking care about you. You're petty shit way beneath us. Who cares? The only reason we're even fighting back is because you decided to try to come to our homes and start shit. No quarters, no mercy. Oh no. Yeah, you don't want to do a fight like that when you have shifters. But it will also give whole meaning to the word of like, trying to fight with your neighbors and stuff, right? Like you gonna get in an altercation because your neighbor borrowed the lawnmower, and you're gonna go confront him, and you're like, wait a minute, but he might be a big scary werewolf. Hmm. It's gonna be a lot of paranoia at the initial reveal for sure, because you don't know who is who, and that's kind of what Jonathan wants to calm things down. It's like, calm. We've been here so from the beginning, from the dawn of history. We have been here, and you're all fine, right? It's all fine. There hasn't been any like exterminations or purges or anything like that. It's all okay. This is my patch of the woods. You don't see me walking through your living room when I feel like it. Yep. That's part of why. Okay, I haven't explained it in story yet. It'll explain more from the Everglades perspective. But Everglade paid out the lumber mill basically to fuck off, right? And it was a good place where they could hide Islander for the time being. But they essentially paid the lumber mill like, well, here's $5 million. We'll take your lumber mill operation, and then they just basically shut it down. Like, we don't fucking care. But he does have lumber operations, everything like that. But they're very. He has his children tightly controlling it, right? Jeremiah Rossman doesn't allow the lumber companies to just go willy-nilly. He makes sure that they follow the actual rules and regulations very carefully. He's like, look, part of nature is you take from nature, but you'll give back to it eventually, right? That's the cycle. We're not going to freak out if you cut down a few trees like that. If you build a house with a couple trees, whatever, right? You've built a house. The problem is when you start like mass deforestation, clear cutting, and shit like that for the goal of just constantly shitting out products. We're going to have a problem with that. So he wants to go and make sure they cut specific trees and replant and do everything proper, right? And protect specific like species of trees and stuff. That's what he wants. There's also going to be a lot less, like all of his companies don't really use a lot of plastics. So like when they build their lumber roads, right? Because you have to build roads to get to the timber claims, right? That's just you can't. You need to get your trucks and vehicles there. You can't just have it be like, oh well, we're just gonna walk, 50 miles through the forest to get to our timber claim. No, you have to build a road to get there. So the roads that Everglade builds for their timber claims, they use iron piping, and things like that. And so the reason they do that is so that they will rust over time. That's what he wants. Iron rusting is totally fine. There's iron everywhere, right? It's not harmful to the environment. Well, the werewolves could, but that's kind of, it's going to look a little suspicious. It's going to be kind of hard to explain. But no, so like, it's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize. So through a lot of these conventional wisdoms and stuff like that, right? They started removing the iron like drainage pipes from a lot of like timber roads and things like that. They're like, oh well, this iron like pipe has been here for 120 years. We need to replace it. It's like, okay, replace it with another iron one. They last really fucking long, clearly. No, we're gonna replace it with plastic. And then the plastic buckles. It doesn't even last like 2 years. And now you have to replace it with more plastic, which buckles because it doesn't last for 2 years. Then if you try to make with steel, it's like, the fuck is wrong with you? The fuck is wrong with you? Just make it out of iron. Why are you guys all on a marathon walk through the woods? Fuck off. Go watch some porn. Huh? No, that's Everglade. Remember, his Jeremiah Rossman's sin is avarice. But he's trying to turn it to something positive. So he's not like hand over fist trying to take money or anything. He's not trying to let his greed or anything get out of check. He's trying to do it specifically to protect everyone. So his avarice is functioning more towards his tribe. He wants more of his tribe and then wants them to be stronger. I crave the strength and certainty of steel. And again, just do iron. Just do iron pipe. Iron is literally everywhere in nature. Iron rusting is totally fine. It's not harmful to nature in any way. Let iron rust. It's what it does. Fucking wild and crazy. Like how much plastic waste is everywhere from people doing like drainage ditches and culverts and things like that. And it's just like, stop making it out of such cheap bullshit. And they won't collapse. Like what the fuck? What are you doing? And then you'll have to replace them. Spend the extra to put in iron, and it lasts 120 fucking years that you don't have to touch it or do anything to it, and it won't buckle, it won't collapse. Oh. Blech. Stupid shit, right? Some folk collect stamps or TTRPGs. I collect strong tribe members. Yeah, basically. That's what he's turned his towards. Remember the grandmother at the diner? Well, no, she's not really a grandmother. Again, she's that in spirit. She's the matriarch of her family. She is. That's what her avarice is. That's her sin as well. But hers is family. Like, so she has lots of children, lots of grandchildren, lots of great-grandchildren. That's what she has turned her, like, want for more into. She has children. She has a big family unit. And that has been her, that's been her way of indulging in avarice. She's an embracer. Everglade is a bit weird because Jeremiah Rossman is technically not an embracer. He's much more the disciplined, but he's a little more pragmatic. Like I said, there are three main factions, but you could literally splinter them into thousands and thousands of subgroups, right? So Jeremiah is a bit of a hybridized system between the disciplined and the embracers, because he allows himself to feel avarice and everything, but he's turned it into working with the company and maintaining what discipline he has so that he can better work for his tribe, right? He feels responsible, especially because he's the last member with the highest rank left after the calamity hit his tribe. All because of the foolish actions of a young and arrogant mageling. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, I've been doing all kinds of like other games and stuff like that. But almost none of them I can talk about. uh Chat, it's sad. It's sad. All right, chat. Here, you want some? You want some of the ones I've done? There's one that actually had a really good story in it, which I'm glad that there's some of these that actually have like they put well thought in story. But it was furry bait, that's for sure. But it's called Malovent instead of Malevolent, Malovent, and it follows Mallow. But you're from the perspective of somebody that downloads the app. But it's actually more like... It's fucking weird. Can't talk about werewolf porn games. So sad. Siri played Despacito. Well, we talked about Moon Touched already. Like, holy shit. Holy shit. I was like... And I showed you guys stills from Moon Touch. But, yeah, no, I can't. Like, that's up there. That's for sure. Holy fuck. And then there's Frankie's Fun Club. And then, what is it? In Heat. Lustful Nights. Which is like weirdly mechanics intensive Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, holy shit, all the stuff you gotta remember to do in that's wild. I haven't been doing any Dark Tide. Haven't been doing any of that. I want to do... I'm going to look forward to tomorrow when we do more of the Dragon Detective stuff. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Because we're on to the third case now. And that music, I can't get that music out of my head. But man, I gotta focus real hard on some of those, like, it's the back and forth. I'm really bad at the interrogation sequences. Oh. No, the third one is apparently called Death in the Air. Death is in the Air. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm pretty sure the one oh my god, what's his name? Hold on, I'm gonna boot up the game to get his name. The one detective that works. I think it was Ashton. Let me check. I'm pretty sure he was a platinum badge holder. Oh. still a banger. And look who we've got on the screen. We've got I think he's a silver fox, right? Yeah, I like Chuck Lestrade. I do. I think he's a fun character. It's Asher Silverton, not Ashton. Damn, I combined his first name and his last name. How dare I? Yeah. I'm pretty sure he's a platinum badge carrier. Yeah, he's kind of our Miles Edgeworth, right? I still think he's gonna end up being like the Moriarty or something, right? I feel like it in my bones. You are so close! An A instead of an E. Do an A instead of an E, and you had it. Wolverine. It can be said either way, Wolverine or Wolverine. But it is with an A. Yes, Royal Underwood. Well, that's neat. Oh, I forgot. Well, we got to see what Lupin looked like, so. There we go. Thornroth. Yeah, he is Silver Fox. Yeah, I was right. Yay. Oh, shit. Okay, yeah. No, we don't even, like, attempt to spoil ourselves on the other characters. His oversized hat originally belonged to his grandfather. He's confident that large hats will come back into style any day now. Hey, it looks good on him. Left her family farm for the capital city at age 13, beginning an engineering apprenticeship under the previous print factory director. Stores his snacks underneath his cap while his hands are full from his work. These are fun. Oh, these little trivia things. He's distracted by visible cracks, unusual sounds, and other signs of structural flaws. This has made her a notoriously strict inspector. He originally proposed the name Down Under for the authorship, but this was summarily denied. Keeps a locked trunk full of embarrassing poetry he wrote in secondary school under his bed. Asher wears his favorite scarf year-round as his pale dragon frailty makes him prone to chills. Like I said, I think he's going to be the Moriarty. It just feels like it, right? It feels like it. That is weird. Yeah, so Roppart was talking about in Phoenix Point, the class with least mobility, the heavy, gets the jetpack. That is fucking weird. Made his fortune by running a famous local bakery in his younger days before becoming interested in mechanical engineering. That's a hell of a jump. Earned the nickname Mouse for his ability to stay quiet and go completely unnoticed by other officers visiting his tower. Became wealthy after inventing a revolutionary antiseptic he called Oil of Whitefield. Oh yeah, we read this one before. We rejected the name. Contents of his coat include pry bar, lockpick kit, tin of mints, empty, bottle opener, extra sandwich, no crusts. Left behind an impressive collection of glass ornaments and statues at home. She took her 3 favorites to Sol Blanc. Full name is Katrina, but constantly being called Cat has driven her to her wit's end and forced her to come up with a new nickname. Yeah, which was Tree. Ugh. Todd aspires to be a master librarian. This dream job is often the subject of mild ridicule by his older sister. One has a legendary sweet tooth. His favorite snacks are crispy marshmallow squares. That explains why. That explains why he had such an odd reaction to licking Calamus's desk, right? Like, oh, tasty, tasty, tasty treats. So many tasty treats. Yeah, we will start the next case tomorrow. Sugar. Zucker. I need my Zucker. Exploring the coziest sniper games for fall. What? What? There's a Garden of Banban 8? I mean, Garden of Banban is one of the weirdest ones I have ever seen. Because you have like it really feels like a game that was just made to cash in, right? But it actually seems like the developers are just weirdly tismy, right? And they genuinely do want to make the Garden of Banban games. It's so fucking weird. It's so weird. Anyone remember Indigo Park? I do not. I do not. Oh. I do. But not for the right reason. Oh no. That's where that's from? Okay, well. Oh no. Yeah, because I remember the lion and the raccoon. But not for the right reasons. It was made by a guy who made a Garden of Banban clone in 24 hours. Nice. Yeah, like I said, I didn't know that's where these were from. But apparently it's like, oh no, I do know them. Unfortunately, not for the right reasons. Where do you remember it from, Setch? I remember it from the Armored Core 6 pilot. Oh no. Oh no. There's a rabbit hole for you to go down. Oh no, Rambly. God, that's a fucking. I cannot tell you how much the pilot in Armored Core 6 being called 621 it's just like, why those particular three numbers? Why those particular three numbers, please? Why? hang on. I wonder. Hold on. I wonder if it does do what I think it does. Oh my god, it doesn't actually. Whew! It's fucking close though. It's fucking close though. Oh my god. Oh my god, there's 41 images. How in the fuck do you get that? How is that Armored Core 6 Fires of the Rubicon? What the fuck? Oh, that's Rusty. Okay. That makes sense now. God damn it. Yep, nope. That makes sense. It'll always be there, whispering to you. It fucking will. Yeah, no, I know. That's why it's like, why did you pick those particular numbers? Why those numbers in particular, please? Please, please, no. Please, please, no. No. All right, all right, right. Anyways, chat. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in. We got weird as fuck at the end, but it is what it is. Yeah, thank all of you so much for tuning in. It's greatly appreciated. I'm gonna get myself some lunch. It was nice to share some more of the book with you guys and have some more talks about it and everything. We'll continue more on. We'll continue more some other time. Tomorrow we will do the Dragon Detective one, and I think that the stuff I took in definitely cleared up a bit. So that's nice. But yeah. Yep, I'm definitely gonna keep on the grind. Like I said, I want to try and get like a comic thing made for it too, because I think that would genuinely work, right? I just saw it's a Gundam's new title. Asmongold makes migrant simulator self-deport. Right. Anyways, this Saturday for Saturday Showtime chat, we will be watching Godzilla Minus One, another fantastic movie. So hopefully I'll see you guys there for that. In the meantime, hopefully you take care. Have a fantastic day. Stay safe and healthy. Get fit, get ripped. I will see you back here tomorrow. And yeah, I'm feeling better. I still feel all clogged up and gross. I feel better. So hopefully that trend continues for tomorrow. Yeah. Bye bye for now, everyone.